A professional sports bettor just revealed something that could save you thousands this NFL season. Internal data from Vegas insiders exposes 8 specific mistakes that drain bankrolls faster than any others. And what these experts are saying will shock you. These aren't small errors that cost you a few bucks here and there. These are massive leaks in your betting strategy that Vegas has designed to take your money week after week. And most bettors have no idea they're even making them. Former sportsbook managers have come forward with information they were never supposed to share with the public. They've exposed the exact patterns that separate winning bettors from losing ones, and the numbers don't lie. According to industry reports, 90% of NFL bettors are making at least 5 of these mistakes right now without even realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which betting patterns to avoid and why Vegas doesn't want you knowing this information. You'll understand the psychology behind each mistake and how to fix it starting this Sunday. Let's kick it off with the first mistake you need to stop making immediately. And trust me, this one is costing more bettors more money than almost anything else on this list. But before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and let me know in the comments, what's your biggest NFL betting loss this season? Seriously, drop a number down there because you're probably not alone. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that loss happened. Alright, back to the story. Mistake number 1. That feels right in your gut, but destroys your bankroll faster than almost anything else according to Vegas insiders. It's so common that former sportsbook employees have told me they can spot these bettors from across the room. They're the easiest money the house makes every single Sunday. And the crazy part is, these bettors think they're being smart and loyal. But what they don't realize is they're making a bet based on emotion instead of data. And the house is counting on that emotion to pay their bills. Let me tell you about a guy named Dave to show you exactly how bad this mistake really is. Dave was a lifelong Cowboys fan from Dallas who never missed a game. Every Sunday, he'd put money on America's team because, in his words, they were his boys and he had to support them. Former sportsbook employees report watching Dave place the same bet week after week, regardless of who Dallas was playing or what the line was. When the Cowboys were favored by 7, he bet them. When they were 3-point underdogs, he bet them. It didn't matter, according to observations. Over the course of one NFL season, Dave estimated he'd bet on the Cowboys all 17 games. He won 9 of those bets and lost 8, which sounds pretty close to even. But here's the problem. Dave was laying juice on every single bet, which meant he had to risk $110 to win 100. By the end of the season, he'd lost $8,000 betting on his favorite team. Industry insiders have revealed that emotional betting costs bettors 15 to 20% more than smart betting based on data. Your brain tricks you into seeing what you want to see instead of what the numbers actually show. Former professional handicappers explain, this is exactly what Vegas wants. They know fans will bet with their hearts instead of their heads, and the house makes a fortune on that loyalty every single week. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about mistake. Number 2, because this one has destroyed more bankrolls than almost anything else according to insider reports. Mistake number 2 is chasing parlays for big payouts. Walk into any sportsbook on Sunday morning and you'll see dozens of people filling out parlay cards thinking they're about to turn $50 into $5,000. Former Vegas insiders have stated that parlays have the worst odds in all of sports betting, but they're also the most popular bets the house takes. Here's why according to the math. Let's say you bet 3 games straight up at minus 110. If you win all 3, you profit about $270 on $300 risked. But if you parlay those same 3 games, the payout looks way bigger. You might win $600 on a $100 bet. The problem is, you have to hit all 3 legs, miss just one, and you lose everything. Former professional bettors have documented cases of players hitting 2 out of 3 legs on parlays 30 times in a single season and never cashing a single ticket. All those almost wins added up to nothing but losses. Mistake number 3, betting heavy favorites. This mistake has a name in Vegas circles, according to former sportsbook employees. They call it the sucker spread, and it's designed to take money from casual bettors who think they're making safe bets. You see your favorite team favored by 14 points against a terrible opponent, and you think it's free money. So you put down big money thinking it's the easiest bet you'll make all season. Former professional handicappers have documented that heavy favorites of 10 points or more only cover the spread about 45% of the time. You're risking $110 to win $100 on a bet that loses more often than it wins. Let me tell you about Robert, who learned this the hard way. He'd only bet on teams favored by 2 touchdowns or more, because in his mind, those were lock wins. Over one season, Robert bet on heavy favorites 23 times. He won 9 and lost 14, because Robert felt so confident he was wagering $800 per bet compared to his normal $200. By the end of the season, this one mistake had cost him over $11,000. Former Vegas insiders explained that the house loves bettors like Robert because they bet big on favorites that rarely cover. Mistake number 4, overreacting to last week's results. Former sportsbook managers have stated this is one of the easiest patterns to spot, and it makes the house massive profits every single week. Casual bettors watch a team destroy their opponent on Sunday and immediately decide that team is going to dominate again next week. Professional handicappers call this recency bias, and it's one of the most expensive psychological traps in sports betting, according to industry research. Your brain gives way too much weight to the most recent game and ignores everything else that matters. There was a bettor named Jennifer who had a simple system. Every week, she'd bet on teams that won by 20 points or more the previous Sunday, thinking momentum was real, and teams that were hot would stay hot. Over one full NFL season, Jennifer made 42 bets using this strategy. She won 16 of those 42 bets. That's a 38% win rate. She was losing money at a rate that would bankrupt most people in just a few months. Professional bettors have revealed that NFL teams perform worse the week after a blowout win, about 58% of the time. Former Vegas insiders explain that sportsbooks actually adjust lines specifically to take advantage of recency bias, knowing casual bettors will still take the bait. Mistake number 5 is not shopping for the best lines, and this one nearly cost a man his marriage. His name was Marcus, and he was a regular bettor who only used one sportsbook because it was convenient. Former industry insiders explain that half-point differences in lines might not seem like much, but over the course of a season, they add up to thousands of dollars in losses. Marcus would bet games at -3.5 when another book down the street had the same game at -3. Professional bettors have revealed that sharp money always has accounts at multiple sportsbooks, because that half point is the difference between a win and a push, or a push and a loss. Over the course of one NFL season, Marcus lost $15,000, according to documented reports. Later analysis showed that if he'd shopped for better lines on just his biggest bets, he would have saved about $4,500. That's $4,500 left on the table, simply because he was too lazy to check other books. But here's where it gets really bad. Marcus had been hiding his losses from his wife, taking out credit cards she didn't know about, and even borrowing money from friends with excuses about car repairs and medical bills. When she finally discovered the truth, she nearly filed for divorce, according to the case. They're still together now, but Marcus isn't allowed to bet anymore, and he had to get a second job to pay back everything he lost. And mistake number 8 uses a psychological trick that's so effective, one Vegas insider said it should be illegal, but we'll get to that in a minute. Mistake number 6 is betting too many games each week. Former sportsbook managers report seeing the same pattern every Sunday. Casual bettors come in and bet 15 or 20 games because they want action on every time slot. Professional handicappers have stated that sharp money focuses on 2 or 3 games maximum per week. The reason is simple according to the data. The more games you bet, the harder it is to do proper research on each one. You end up making bets based on gut feelings instead of solid information, and those gut feeling bets lose way more often than they win. One documented case involves a player who was betting 20 games every single Sunday. His win rate was about 42%, which meant he was slowly bleeding money every single week. A professional bettor convinced him to cut down to just 3 games per week and focus on doing deep research on those 3 matchups. Within 1 month, his win rate jumped to 58%. He went from losing every week to actually making money just by betting less. Mistake number 7. Making desperation. Bets on Monday Night Football. This one is so psychologically manipulative that a former Vegas insider told me it feels like stealing, according to his own words. You've had a bad Sunday. Maybe you went 1-5 on your bets. You're down for the week and frustrated. Then Monday Night Football kicks off, and you see it as your chance to get even. Former sportsbook employees have documented seeing this exact pattern thousands of times. Bettors who lost on Sunday make bigger bets on Monday because they're chasing losses. The problem is, you're not betting based on research or value. You're betting on emotion and desperation. Let me tell you about Carlos, who had a terrible Sunday and lost $1,000 on 5 games. When Monday night came around, he bet $1,500 on the Packers, even though he didn't have a strong opinion on the game. The Packers were up by 10 in the 4th quarter, then lost outright. In 2 days, Carlos lost $2,500, half his entire season bankroll. Industry data shows bettors who make Monday Night Football wagers after losing on Sunday have a win rate of about 41%. Former Vegas insiders say Monday night is one of their most profitable nights, specifically because of desperate bettors trying to get even. Mistake number 8 is not tracking your bets and results, and this one mistake makes all the other ones worse, according to Vegas insiders. Professional handicappers have revealed that if you don't track your betting, you can't improve because you have no idea what your actual leaks are. Former sportsbook employees explain they love bettors who don't keep records because those players have no clue how much they're really losing. The human brain has a funny way of remembering wins more than losses. You'll remember that big 3-team parlay you hit 2 months ago, but you'll forget about the 15 straight bets you lost last week. Industry data shows that most bettors overestimate their wins by about 40% when asked to guess their record. They think they're doing way better than they actually are, and that false confidence keeps them betting the same losing patterns week after week. Here's a story that really shows how bad this problem is, according to documented reports. There was a bettor who'd been gambling on NFL games for 3 years. If you asked him how he was doing, he'd tell you he was about even maybe down a little bit for his career. He felt pretty good about his betting because he remembered all those Sundays when he cashed multiple tickets. One day, a professional bettor challenged him to actually track every single bet for 1 full season. Write down the date, the teams, the line, the amount risked, and the result. The casual bettor agreed, thinking it would prove he was a decent handicapper. By week 10 of the season, he couldn't believe what the numbers showed. He wasn't even close to breaking even. He was down $6,800. $6,800. And he genuinely believed he was only down a few $100 at most. The tracking revealed his specific leak patterns too. He was 3-11 betting road favorites. He was 1-9 betting division games in primetime. These were patterns he never would have noticed without keeping detailed records. Former professional bettors state that tracking is the single most important thing you can do to improve your betting results. It forces you to face reality instead of living in a fantasy version of your betting history. It shows you which bet types you're good at and which ones you should avoid completely. And it keeps you honest about your bankroll, so you don't chase losses or bet more than you can afford. The data doesn't lie, even when your memory does, according to analysis. So now, you know the 8 specific NFL betting mistakes that separate losing bettors from winning ones, according to Vegas insiders. You understand why emotional betting destroys bankrolls. You know parlays are sucker bets with terrible odds. You've learned that betting heavy favorites and overreacting to last week's results will drain your money fast. You've seen how not shopping lines and betting too many games kills your profit. You know Monday night desperation. Bets are traps. And most importantly, you understand that tracking your results is the only way to actually improve and stop making the same mistakes over and over. Subscribe for more NFL betting secrets that Vegas doesn't want you to know. And remember, the house is counting on you making these mistakes every single Sunday. Don't let them.